In the prior module, we built an inline template for our app component. We used the template property to define the template directly in the component's metadata. But this is not the only way we can build a template for our components. We can use the template property and define an inline template using a simple quoted string with single or double quotes. Or we can define an inline template with a multi-line string by enclosing the HTML in ES 2015 backticks. The backticks allow composing a string over several lines, making the HTML more readable. We used this technique to build our template in the last module. There are some advantages to defining an inline template using one of these two techniques. The template is directly defined within the component, keeping the view and the code for that view in one file. It is then easy to match up our data bindings with the class properties, such as the page title in this example. However, there are disadvantages as well. When defining the HTML in a string, most development tools don't provide IntelliSense, automatic formatting, and syntax checking. Especially as we define more HTML in the template, these issues become challenges. In many cases, the better option is to define a linked template with the HTML in its own file. We can then use the template URL property in the component metadata to define the URL of our HTML file. Let's use this technique and build a linked template for our product list view. Here is our ultimate goal for the product list view. The view has a nice heading. A filter by box at the top allows the user to enter a string. The user-entered string is displayed here, and the list of products is filtered to only those with a product name containing that string. The products are listed in a neat table with a nicely formatted header. The Show Image button shows an image for each product. The product name is a link that displays the product detail view, which we'll build later in this course. To make this page look nice with very little effort, we use the Twitter Bootstrap styling framework. You don't need to have experience with this framework, and if you're using the starter files, you don't even have to install it. I've already included what we need. But if you want to find out more about the Twitter Bootstrap styling framework, check out this link. Now let's jump into a demo and start building the template for our product list view. When we last saw our sample application, we had completed the app component. Now we want to add an external template for the product list component. By convention, each feature of the application has its own folder under the app folder. So let's add a new folder here and name it Products. In that folder, we'll create the template for our product list component. By convention, the name of the template is the same name as the component with an HTML extension. We'll call our product list component product-list.component.html. Let's widen that up a little bit. Now we are ready to create the HTML for our template. Let's start with the heading. We're using Twitter Bootstrap style classes here to display the content in a panel and display the heading as the panel heading. In the heading, we display Product List. If you don't want to type in all of this code, you can copy it from the APM final folder provided in my GitHub repository, as detailed in the First Things First module earlier in this course. Next is the filter by. We define an input box for entry of the filter string, and we add text that displays the user-entered filter. We again use Twitter Bootstrap style classes to lay out the input box and text into rows. Now let's build the table. We use Twitter Bootstrap's table style classes. We have a table header. The first column header is a button to show the product image, and here is the table body. We definitely don't want to hard code in the products here, so let's leave the table body empty for now. So we have the start of a template defined for our component. Now what? If you said we need to build the component, you are exactly right.